Hey everyone, Nick from Nick's Crossing here. Welcome back to the training room for a fantastic review today. Today we're going to be talking about these beautiful new Strasburg cars in my collection and a couple other Strasburg pieces. So here we go, all aboard. Alright guys, these are beautiful cars and I finally got my hands on a set, and for about $400 you can pick up a set of two. Yes, I did not stutter there, $400 for a set of two. So in the Nick's Crossing fashion, I don't have $400 just laying around for some plastic and metal. So what I did a trade. I traded in an engine that wasn't using it as often as the others, and got a $200 trade towards them. So 190 bucks later, with Uncle Sam's cut, I got a set of these beautiful Strasburg cars. This is the Grasshopper level and also Gobbler's Knob I-rail. That's like the rail right there. 90s rendition right there. And it's kind of cool. I wasn't expecting to buy these that day at the hobby shop, and I walked in the White Rose looking for motive power for the layout, but they had these cars sitting in the cabinet. I was like, hey, are those the last Strasburg cars? And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh shoot, all right, I'll buy them, pack them up. So did the trade and everything, got a really good deal on these cars. So they're actually selling theirs for like $369, $379, and a guy at the York show actually bought up, I believe, 10 sets of these cars. So that is just insane to me. I don't know where, his pot of gold is at the side of the rainbow, but I don't have that luxury in my life at this moment. So anyways, we're going to talk about some other cars in the collection that are Strasburg related. I also have one piece of motive power, and you guys are probably saying, whoa, motive power, Strasburg. Yeah, she's an oldie but a goodie. She also needs some work. So let's get into that as well. So guys, Strasburg, I've been going there for about 24 plus years, and I'm actually turning 29 today. At the time of viewing this video, I'm 29 years old now. Today is my birthday, and it's been a crazy long 29 years, and I remember going to Strasburg as a wee little guy, not even high enough to see this platform here. I remember going up there and entering through the parking lot side where the yard is, driving through, seeing all the engines and diesels and projects and cars, and then having to park near like the water tower, getting out. I also remember like the old track that used to come up from the yard in front of the gift shop. They had like a car parked there for a while. They took all that trackage out. I don't know what they were planning to do with that. And I just remember so much more, like the different cafes and the whole orientation of that cafe being picked up and turned to one side. It's pretty crazy. So a lot of history up there. And I remember seeing these 90s style cars, and it's kind of cool. I didn't notice that till I brought them home. I forgot there are so many different renditions of periods in time, like the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and the modern cars. I think there's also a 70s set, like the yellow, might be considered the 80s. And I do remember seeing the Hello Dolly open air car as yellow up until like recently. They painted it like that red, the maroon color. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So guys, my first piece of Strasburg rolling stock motive power is actually this guy right here. Now these came out in I think the early 2000s. I want to say 2004, 2006, and these are awesome. This is a Plymouth Switcher Strasburg #1. This is an authentic piece from K-Line, and it's all die cast. Right around the time Lionel, authoritatively took over K-Line, which I'm not thrilled with, and they came out with these beautiful little switchers. This guy needs a lot of work. I've been in here before to replace the smoke unit elements, so the element was fine. I'm sorry, the components went up, so the capacitor blew, and also there's a transistor in there. I replaced them. Got tons of spares, which work with all my other fan smoke units, resistor smoke units as well. So she works right there. Headlight, reverse light, and they are directional, which is really cool. There's a little tiny reverse board in here. Lots of detail. Even have like the basically decoupler lift. There you go. And the couplers are activated by just pulling down the plunger. Fan smoke unit that will smoke out this entire room. And each little lantern on here, like on these corners, like there, and in the back, those actually light up as well. And that is actually a major problem with this model. All of mine burnt out from running it so many times as a kid. And she also needs a new motor. So I got to dig through here, get her a new motor, and get her rocking and rolling. It's got like a slot car motor, so like a little DC. It's probably about the size of like the top of my pinky right here. It's tiny. And there's like a little gearbox with the worm gear and everything. So replace the motor, this thing should work fantastically well. The second piece Strasburg I've ever owned was actually this boxcar right here. Check that out. From, I think it's 1985. Let me move the door back. Yep, 1985. And I was told that they used to sell these at the gift shop. And these are Lionel, authorized Lionel, and just a really simple wood-sided semi-scale boxcar. Now, the cool thing is with these, you could run these with full scale because it's wood-sided. The wood-sided cars weren't as large as like the car I'm about to show you guys. And it's just a really cool piece. Not sure how many of these they made. Is there any information on here? Nope. Nope. But it has all the decals on there. And this is the SRC era. So Strasburg Railroad. And then you have the SRC right here, Strasburg Railroad Company. So pretty interesting. A little bit of history right there. These roll pretty good. One of the wheels falls off, so she needs new trucks. And the trucks on here are really cool. You got those old, like late 1800s, turn of the century style trucks. So there you go. Got the journals right there, the old school bunks and everything for the trucks. All right, guys, and my third piece of rolling stock is actually this SRC number 110 boxcar from Weaver. I picked this up at my buddy's hobby shop, Iron Horse Trains. He had this sitting in the cabinet. I was there like a week before to look at some stuff, and I saw this in the bottom of the cabinet. I was like, dude, what is that? And he pointed it out. He's like, yeah, I had a couple more. They all sold. I'm like, dude, I'm buying this. The Strasburg cars, they go pretty fast, and they're pretty rare to find. This thing rolls like butter. I love it. It's full scale Weaver, so it matches up with my other Weaver stuff, and it looks great operating them with these guys right here. So yeah, just a full scale boxcar. Do not climb. It's pretty cool. Do not climb on roof. Yeah, I could see that. Even though it has a catwalk up there, or walkway. There is a ladder in the back. Brake wheel, pretty cool detail right there. Nothing too fancy, but I love Weaver cars. They also add the brake detail underneath. So, all right, guys. So now we're gonna get into these beautiful new passenger cars. Now I know the whole thing, like they're MTH, but Lionel overstamped and did the same tooling and all that. It's like, honestly, I really don't care. It's like they're $400 no matter what. The price has been totally gouged and moved over and evaluated. So if you buy these cars on eBay, you're probably paying $400 for MTH or Lionel, plus whatever ridiculous shipping costs for the giant box you get. The box for these is actually right here. So think of shipping this. This is probably larger than a typical like diesel engine box. And it's pretty big. And you got the two orange boxes in here, but this is the shipping box. And it says, let's see, it doesn't have the weight on here. Product of China, so that's better than the Vietnam garbage that Lionel's making. I hate the Vietnam stuff, guys. There's no weight on the box. So it says Strasburg Railroad, 1990s wood coach 2-pack number 1. So set number 1. That's good to know because then I need whatever other sets there are, and we'll get that eventually when I strike the lottery or strike oil in my backyard. But anyways, guys, I got the cars. They're here, and I do have some complaints with them. I know you guys are probably saying, Nick, they're beautiful cars. How could you complain? For $200 a car, these have to be absolutely perfect. There's a couple details. So my first complaint with these cars, when you take a look, the doors don't open. What the heck? The doors have to be able to open because my other garbage cars from Lionel that are like $20, $30 passenger cars, when you break down a set, those doors open too. For instance, I have a bunch of Williams cars on the floor right now. Their doors open too. I paid $200 for a whole set of scale cars. Those doors open. My GG1 commemorative set with the semi-scale cars, they're all Chinese made. Those doors open. So why don't these doors open? You didn't even have to put the springs on them. You could have just had them like with a lock fit or something. They don't open, so my passengers are forever stuck. That's just one little complaint. Also, some of the little details, like the turnbuckles and things like that underneath, they could have added little turnbuckles under, so just having a piece of wire connect with the U-frame underneath, that would have been nice to just put in a little turnbuckle detail. So it's maybe a little piece of plastic on there to kind of show that. And then the other complaint I have, the figurines that they used are just kind of odd. They're very like globby. But for, like I said, these are just minor complaints because when you spend $200 a car, these have to be perfect. And also the spring trucks are ornamental. They're not real bunks on the trucks. They're just springs held in place. So my God, do not go picking around there with like a screwdriver. They will fly out. I had one fly out in the packaging when I brought it home. I actually had to take a screwdriver and pliers and put it back in. It was a nightmare. So watch out for that as well. So I'm going to turn you guys around. We'll talk about these more in detail. All right, guys, here is the Grasshopper level car. So just a couple things here. In the back, I think they could have done a little bit better with this railing detail. The real Strasburg Railroad does not have like this piping, handrail in the back. It's more of like a wrought iron type of thing. So they could have done a little bit better. The brake wheel, whatever. So if we move on here, there we go. Non-sprung trucks. So these are not bouncing around. That's just me pushing down on the car. The ornamental springs are right in here. They're kind of hard to see. They're right in between the journal boxes, which are your hot boxes right here. So they look right. Pretty cool. A lot of detail in there. Move her down a little bit more. Now, when I was talking about the turnbuckle detail, there should be turnbuckles right in here. Between there and the second one, the third and fourth one. These actually pull tension on the car because wooden cars are slatted. They also, they move, they contort, which is probably why they outlawed them on top of fires and safety concerns. If you get hit by a train in a wooden car, or if your train is hit in a wooden car, this car just totally is obliterated. There's nothing left. It's wooden. So it's not like the heavyweight cars that you see on scenic railroads all around. They use heavyweights for a reason. These cars are prone to fires and also mechanical failure. The Strasburg Railroad travels at a safe speed under 15 miles per hour, on or about, and they're able to keep it nice and safe. But in the olden days, yeah, these were a huge safety hazard. So they outlawed those, I believe, on the Class 1s pretty early on. Now looking on here, you do get the frosted glass, which I thought was interesting. There should be like a little bathroom in there. I think I do see it. So that's kind of cool. All right, guys, so here's the Gobbler's Knob car right here. And I turn on the lights so you guys can see one final detail. So with the chairs in here, instead of just doing one giant molded bench seat, like as you would have at the Strasburg, they took two smaller chairs and glued them together. So check this out. Right there, you can see the divide in the seats. It's really hard to focus on because there's a piece of glass, but right there you can kind of see the dividing line. So it's like two chairs glued together. There's a good view of it right there in the center. So yeah, kind of goofy. But other than that, these cars are pretty cool. Now with the lights, according to a couple of my friends from the Monday Run Day stream, they said they have capacitors in these. So your lights start up nice and slow, and they turn off nice and slow. Kind of cool. So there are these cars. Underneath, you also have an on-off switch, so you can turn your lights off. But the Strasburg, no matter what time of day, the lights are always on. So anytime you ride the Strasburg, look up in the center, and those lamps will always be lit. So there we go. So guys, there's only one thing left to do. Let's try to run these beautiful cars. We'll try to run her with my 080 switcher engine that has a hooter whistle to kind of give a shout out to good old engine number 475. So here we go, guys. All aboard. do it for this video on reviewing these beautiful Strasburg Railroad cars. Are they perfect? No. Should they be perfect? Yeah, honestly, they should be before I go crazy here for spending $400 on a set of cars. Yeah, they should be perfect, and I think that's a flaw Lionel has. They just want to crank this stuff out so fast. They're not looking at all the detail and everything like that. Are they nice cars? Sure. Do I know how long they'll last? Probably a while. If I take care of them, not stack them on top of my other cars like this mess right here, they'll last a very long time. Now, another thing, I'm glad, I can't believe I'm saying this, I'm glad they're made in China rather than Vietnam. The Vietnamese cars coming out are just total garbage. They're falling apart on me. The trucks aren't matching up. The couplers aren't matching up. It is just a nightmare. So I'm glad these are made in China rather than Vietnam. I still can't believe I'm saying that. I'm just like, no, that doesn't sound right to me. Wish it was made in the good old US of A, but we'll take what we can get. Yeah, for $400, you guys can get yourself a set of Strasburg cars. I recommend trading something in if you can't afford it and you really want them. I do have some other items I was looking at online that are newer, but the bobber caboose and things like that, I think they're going for like over $100 a piece, which is just insane for a little tiny bobber caboose. So I'll probably wait for a used one to show up on the market or go to a train show, save on the shipping, save on all that fiasco there. As you guys saw, I do have more Strasburg pieces on the layout. I got the J Tower in my left corner here. On the Railfan Park, I have the Cherry Hill Station, the 15 more or less population. I love that sign. And then also you have the Strasburg Bobber Caboose that someone custom painted. I believe it's an Atlas caboose or one of those companies. And this guy was making these models up in Allentown. I bought that. I think it was like $45. Did an amazing job on that. And it's such a cool piece. It's in the Railfan Park. So yeah, I love Strasburg, guys. I'm all for it. So yeah, but anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video and are new to the channel, always consider subscribing. Giving the video one of these really helps. Love reading the comments. Let me know how you feel about Strasburg and all that. Don't want to hear about any horrible recent events. Just keep it all positive, guys. Let's move on to the future. Until next time, everyone, happy railroading, and we'll see you next time. See you guys.